Welcome to the Leg It Sportcast. It's me, Andy Grant.
It's me, Jordan Neild.
Massive thanks to Monterex and Social Scousers. Don't forget, if you want 15% off your Monterex gear, the link is in the bio. Head over to them and make sure you follow them on Instagram. Thanks one again, lads, for the sponsorship. How are you?
Not bad, mate, you?
Yeah, all good.
Had a little bit of a trip, the last week or so?
Yeah, so the missus graduated, PhD, so just started taking advantage of the British Isles.
Nice.
With all this COVID stuff, not knowing where you can go. So, little night over in York, belter.
Yeah.
I told her it was for it. It was just a bit of a recce for when me and you go next month.
I was going to say, York's one of them places, and it's proper, just underappreciated. Well, there's loads of underappreciated places in the UK, but...
No, York's one of them. If you want to just walk around having a beer, it reminds me a bit of Harry Potter. You know, that Diagon Alley. Yeah. Yeah, loved it. So I'd recommend going to York. Just had a little wander over there, and then I had a night back in Liverpool with an accountancy firm called Sedulo. We've had Paul on the podcast, top guy. They've got an accountancy firm there, so again, I'd suggest looking at them if for any of your accountancy needs, any small businesses or big businesses for that matter. They look after some pretty big people. And then I had a weekend in North Wales.
Some life, mate.
Gotta have a go, lad.
Someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it. But it was good, mate, yeah. So play hard, work hard, play hard.
Yeah, love it.
Have you been alright?
Yeah, sounds, I mean, about a 4-day hangover. I had a wedding, didn't I?
Yeah, you had a decent weekend as well.
Yeah, so I was a groomsman at one of my mates' weddings.
Do you want to tell a ring story?
No, mate.
don't let him be part of your wedding.
Yeah, because we lost rings for a good 26 hours. But yeah, that's for another day. But yeah, we drank a lot, over a couple of days. But you know, a lot of the people down when we mates from we were like best mates, but we live all over the country. So you know, we get like 4 or 5 times a year where we get together. We just gets out of hand as per usual, but
boss.
Yeah, mate, honest to God though, I know it was my birthday this week as well, so 29, but I'm feeling my age. Like, it took me a good 3 days to get up to it.
Yeah, I already after the happy birthday text, do you think within 2 texts back it was Vegas for me 30?
Yeah, mate, so I said to Emily, I'm not one to sit around, I'm planning that.
Yeah,
Vegas.
Make sure I'm on that list for that. It's been a boss week of sport as well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's all kinds going on. I don't even know where you want to kick off, really.
Olympics, mate. I'm addicted to the Olympics.
You got the bug, yeah.
So me and Em, I forget what morning this was, when Tom Daly and Matty Lee won the gold.
Yeah.
So me and Emily sat on the couch watching the diving. She's got to go to work, and this is how much the Olympics transpires. She was texting me saying, what was China's dive like? You know, because China was like the closest to England. And I'm texting back saying, oh my God, it was unbelievable. But I think they got 101, they needed 102 or something.
Made a bit of a splash, babe. Nah,
I was saying there was nothing there. She's like, oh my God, 101, some score, like we've been watching synchronised diving for years.
That's about it.
Yeah, that's the power of the Olympics. Emily doesn't watch sport either.
The photo of him crying when he had the mask on, you can see the tears. That was
you seen what I think his first Olympics, he was 15 or something. He
seems to have been around forever, doesn't he?
And I think the guy who he was partnered with, it was his first Olympics. He'd gone in straight for the gold, that's how you do it.
They've dominated the pool, haven't they?
Yeah, mate.
In the dive and in the...
Yeah, Adam Peaty as well.
Yeah, he's a beast, isn't he?
Oh, mate, he's just an absolute machine, isn't he?
I feel like saying, go in the gym and stuff and all that, if you want to have a decent body, just be a gymnast or a swimmer.
I said, when I was at university, swimming was the one thing that just, something that I never conceived was that cool. And then you see them and you understand how difficult it is and how good they are.
Yeah.
Especially when they do the 400 metres, I think it's 8 lengths or something, isn't it? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they have 50 metre pools there, don't they? Yeah.
Do you know what's also impressive? The girls, I think the women's 400 metres, the girl in 4th was 14 from Canada. Summer Mackenzie, her name was. And so she obviously does well in the heats, gets to the final. She's on medal pace. She comes 4th in the end, but she's on medal pace until I think the last maybe 30-40 metres, and she just gets beat by someone. She comes 4th, 14 years of age.
Imagine going back after the 6 weeks holiday.
Do you know what I mean? What did you get up to? Tokyo.
Tokyo, I won holiday. Nah, the Olympics.
And do you know what? Just that's the bit of the Olympics. Why aren't these people celebrated so much?
Yeah. Why are we talking about bloody
people getting Botox and rubbish like that?
Love Island when this is going on.
But so this girl, I think her name's Simone Biles. I've never ever heard of it, and she's a 14-year-old who's obviously got medal chances at the Olympics. Why don't we know them?
I know that again. I'm having a go at people not knowing them, but I didn't know about that swim team. So the guy, Ben, he's got double gold.
Yeah.
Did you see the footage of all his family?
Yeah.
I was crying watching it.
Mate, I like hairs were standing up and everything, and I seen someone tweet saying, this video is amazing. Watch a different face every time you watch it. Do you know what I mean? It's like a different story. And I did it. I was watching over and over again.
That was boss, that.
There's like a woman, she can barely watch. I don't know if his mum or auntie or something. Then there's like one of his mates giving it loads.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, so mate, they've dominated the pool. It reminded me a little bit like when they dominated the velodrome a couple of years ago. Yeah. It's been like that in the pool. He smashed it.
See the lad on the mountain bike as well, Tom Pitt.
Yeah.
Like, he must be 8 stone. And he's dragging that bike up a hill like it's none.
And it's mad, innit? You think like... I always think, you know, when I can compare it to sports I've maybe had a go at, and you think how difficult it is, you can't comprehend like the level of skill.
He didn't start at the front either, he was way back.
Yeah.
But it's just, like, it's the mental strength that gets me. I understand they're all brilliant athletes.
Yeah.
But it's just like...
At the big stage.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and what was the guy on the mountain bike? I think he was a couple of seconds ahead or something. Imagine knowing you're about to win an Olympic gold medal, and you just all I've got to do is stay on. It'd be the longest couple of seconds.
Well, that's what it was like in the swimming for the relay, the 4x200. They were like a good 2 seconds ahead by the last go.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, I can't fuck this up here.
Swim for me life.
But mate, they were, I think, like a 0.2 seconds behind the world records.
Yeah.
One of them was actually quite gutted. He didn't get the world record.
Some event though, innit? I've been watching all kinds. Taekwondo.
Yeah. Seeing that.
How did he kick that high?
Yeah.
Ultimate like points for kicking in the back of the head, isn't it?
You know what, I'm not... sounds so disrespectful. One that I'm not into personally as much is judo.
Yeah, it's quite...
Just a bit like... Seems a bit messy.
Yeah. I mean, Taekwondo's mad because like... It's a combat sport, but they're not really trying to hurt each other. Do you know what I mean? They're just looking for like... Because obviously the sensors in the feet, in the gloves and the stuff on the feet. It's like a mad point scoring...
What's the girl called from the pool? She just missed out in the last seconds.
Oh, you've stung me.
Oh, Rebecca.
She did. It was literally a second.
It was
it?
the last second, last kick.
Oh, what's her name?
I think she got it with a head kick and like the literally.
Yeah, and she's lying on the floor, isn't she? Yeah.
So she got like a
Bianca walked.
That's it.
Yeah.
So fourth, I think she come, didn't she?
Yeah, but that was literally 0.01. Yeah. But I was thinking like I'm coming across some Taekwondo expert now because I've watched about 4 hours. Right? So I've seen people, they just like walk off they just like walk out of the little arena and they get given a point. But I think she was a couple ahead. I reckon she could have done that. So if you step off, the ref just like deducts a point or something.
Yeah.
But like if you're a couple ahead, you sound. But yeah, I don't know. I was shouting at the telly, walk off. Get out of there.
Mate, my best mate Murray was crying again, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Crying again.
Gone, you said it, didn't you? Called it.
Nah, I don't mind him crying over stuff like this, but that's obviously him now. No more Olympics for him.
I'm not having professional sports in the Olympics though.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Point,
like,
he's just come off the back of Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Let's say he's won Wimbledon and he's now competing against.
Yeah. I want to watch obscure sports, mountain biking.
At your disc.
Yeah. Where's that? Ultimate Frisbee?
Skateboard was a new one, wasn't it?
Yeah, to see that fella went straight in the pole.
No.
So he comes down to like the ramp and loses control of it and he's...
Oh, really?
Yeah, the middle ground, it's straight into the pole. I think it was his first run as well. Imagine all your family watching. Just straight into the pole.
Mate, I was sitting watching with Alba this morning and watching the shooting, and Alba said, "Why is that a sport?" Like,
what, the long distance one?
No, just the normal shooting.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
I was like, I've really got an answer to that, darling.
It's some obscure ones, like
it's that like, it's like what is darts a sport? Is like, you know, how far? Like, I don't know the definition of what is a sport.
I just wonder how they get that far. Like, at what point in your life do you think, right, I want to be an Olympic shooter? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's obviously like there's obviously a clear path, but it's just something you never give thought. No. Crazy. But I just don't want it to end. I love it.
Mate, one thing, mate, to go on about, get a bit deep on it. A bit of it is a deep kind of conversation to go away from the funniness of the frisbee potential throwing and stuff. But is the what's her name?
Simone Biles.
Yeah. Where do you stand on that?
To be honest, like, the thing is, I don't mind the pulling out. I know people have said, like, but you're that type of sport because you're losing and stuff like that. But in my opinion, she hasn't got much to prove. I think she won 4 medals at the last Olympics.
She's won 4.
Yeah. And I was reading, she's had a bit of a, you know, she was part of that sort of sexual assault scandal, wasn't she?
Oh, was she?
Yeah, so she was part of that. She's had like this crazy childhood. So, you know, mental health issues, as they call it, I don't think it's anything sort of, I think she struggled with it for a long time. But where I stand on it is, I understand people saying, oh, well, you've got to go through, you've got to be gritty and stuff, but not everyone can be Rocky, do you know what I mean? For some people, maybe she just hasn't got the drive no more. And she, you know, she's out there supporting her teammates, and I don't know whether it's been one of them where it's like, you know, I just haven't got it anymore. It's just not, you know, the fire just not burning anymore. And she pulls out. But, you know, I understand what people are saying. You know, you're losing. It's convenient that you pull out now, which it does look like that. But if she'd never won anything, you could probably say that. But she's obviously winning 4 medals. Who's she trying to prove something to? Do you know what I mean?
I think Piers Morgan kind of stoked the fire a bit, didn't he?
Yeah.
Mate, I'll be honest, might be unpopular for saying this, but I normally think he's all right. Don't get me wrong, he's a bit controversial and he does stuff just to get people talking. And he's done me head in with this, because it's like he just has to have an opinion on everything, which I guess people do, but I'm kind of like 60-40 in his camp a little bit. I mean, I didn't know that stuff about him, mental health and stuff. What I feel about it is if you... I think he's got a bit of a bad rap on it, Piers Morgan, because he seems to be always attacking, you know, black females. He's got this weird thing with Meghan Markle and then this girl now. And, yeah, like, listen, mental health needs to be taken, you know, obviously serious, and thankfully it is, and she's getting a lot of praise for it. Trying to be completely, you know, down the middle with this. What would happen if it was 2005 Istanbul, Shevchenko scores that penalty, and Steven Gerrard's walking to the penalty spot, his winning penalty wins the Champions League, and he gets halfway and he goes, nah, you know what, I'm mentally, I'm not ready for this, and he comes back. You're telling me scouts are going to be going, oh lad, so brave of you that.
No, I completely...
Is he fuck, he's a shit house?
I completely understand that argument, but that's just sort of where I think, like, some people are obviously made for their moments, and at one point in her career she was made for that moment. Clearly she's got the medals to say it. But I do think there is bravery in me. I don't know whether this is true, this is just my understanding of it. I believe she just said, I'm just not the athlete I was anymore, or like I just haven't got it anymore. So I think it's braver to say that than to just keep going and just know you're not there.
No, I agree.
But as I said before, it's a bit of an overused term, but not everyone can be the hero of the story, do you know what I mean? Not everyone can be Rocky Balboa. You know, sometimes it's just not there.
Not you,
And I think that's where people get caught up, because they say, well, every athlete should, you know, at the top of the game, that's how you get there, quitters never win and all that stuff. But not every athlete's like that. They're talented, but then they might not have that in them. Might have had it at one stage, but don't have it anymore.
What's interesting with her, is because she has had it. She has proved, and it'd be interesting if she's just like, look, this isn't me. The only thing I worry about is if it's opened the door now to that kind of excuse for other people. It
sets a precedent, doesn't it? Obviously, be saying like, but as you say, if you say quitters never win, well, she's already won. So,
you just can't imagine, like, it's like, I'm a bit old school in the sense that you kind of want to see people, and it, like say, she is a champion in her own right, you want to see people pushing it, and maybe that's selfish, because I'm not thinking about her mental health, but you think, if you want to be the best and get gold, then you have got to push past the boundaries, and whether you are having a tough time or not, I guess that's what people want to see. If you're at the top of sport, you've got to do that. But
I think somewhat, like, there'll be a story in this Olympics where someone, you know, still to come, someone who's behind and they manage to turn it around, they win gold or something like that, and then that's their moment, do you know what I mean? But there's also, it's not, you know, you can't pretend that, you know, people giving up or putting their hand in or whatever doesn't happen. It happens every day, it happens in every single walk of life. But, and that, like, I don't agree with the sort of, I don't want it to become a precedent of, you know, if you're losing, just quit, because that's not what it needs to be. But I do think there's a space in life where, you know, it is brave to say, it's just not there no more.
No, I agree. The other problem is with, though, yes, mental health has had a new light shone on it, which is great. Can anyone tell me who won the gold?
Exactly that, it just takes over, doesn't it?
The poor girl who's won gold, and the team that beat them, USA, to it. Why is no one talking about them?
I think she's the biggest star in the sport, though, essentially, and I checked, like, Instagram, she's got like 5 million followers or something like that. I mean, it does
it's
take
took away from the winners.
Yeah, 100%.
It's an interesting one. I mean, it's a great debate. You could talk about it all day. Can your mental health, the pressures, is there too much? What can you? What should?
The thing is, imagine how many people who've maybe gone to the well one too many times, or pushed themselves and never won, for example. But I think there'd be a large population of athletes who are sitting on the couch thinking, I wish I would have done that. Do you know what I mean? Taking something hard themselves to get, you know, maybe if she would have pushed herself through and she'd have not done herself justice and she'd come, you know, by her own standards 7th, 8th or something like that, would in 15 years she'd gone, I should have just stood up and said, I'm not ready, like this is not me, do you know what I mean? It's okay for us to sit and debate it, but...
It's been very cynical to go, you're only quick because you knew you weren't going to win.
Yeah, but that's what it looks like, and I don't think she can get away from that. There is a definite argument that she quit because she wasn't winning.
It's like, is it easier, and this has been very, very cynical, is it easier to say, my mental health's not there, I'm pulling out, than to have a go and come second?
Exactly. But would she have quit if she was miles ahead and stuff like that? And they're the debates we can have, but I just think, you know...
It's fascinating.
Yeah. People, obviously, like Piers Morgan and stuff like that, they just generalise things rather than, you know, looking at them for what they actually
That's what I mean. I say I'm 60-40 in his camp. I'm not, because he's a fucking knob how he says about things, but I just think it's more... There's a lot more grey than black and white.
Yeah, 100%, and I think that's why it's
there's different ways to look at it, different sports. Again, I use the analogy with Istanbul. It's just funny how, you know, that Women's Olympics is getting viewed as bravery. Would it be classed as bravery in a World Cup final? If Harry Kane...
So they can't do it.
Says I can't do it, and they lost. Oh my God!
Yeah,
you would never be able to step foot in a Premier League ground again.
Two sides of the same coin. You're totally right. It's ridiculous, but I guess it's just different vibes, isn't it? But to be positive, gymnastics is another one that's just incredibly
amazing.
Impressive.
How ripped the fellas are.
I was saying that though, but obviously anyone can be skinny and, you know, look like you got loads of muscles. They are massive, and they're launching themselves around.
Yeah,
like
brilliant.
The parallel bars impress me the most. So like where you obviously and they'll just throw themselves and they'll catch it again. Oh.
I like the rings.
Yeah.
When they do the that's
It's boss way
crucifixing.
They work the floor, don't they? So they'll do like the floor routine, then they'll do the pommel horse and
that's amazing. We had poor Peter McGrail as well.
Yeah, went out first round.
Gutted there.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he got beat fair and square. I reckon he'll be the first probably to say that. I just reckon, I don't know, I reckon that weight just killed him. Do you know what I mean? I think he qualified 17 months ago or something. And he's just sat around waiting. Some people only qualified about, 6-7 weeks before the actual games or whatever it was. You know, has he just been sat on his hands thinking, get me in that ring? And he sort of looked like that, to be honest. Looked like he just was trying to take his head off.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think this is only a small chapter in his... I mean, obviously, you know, we sat here last week and said, you know, want him to win gold, and we did, but, you know, I think he'll go on to have a very good pro career and probably look back on it, but I think he's just one of the... I think there's plenty of unlucky athletes at this Olympics, and I think he's just in that...
It's been an awful time, like you said, the cursed Olympics, you said, didn't they?
The boxing's flying, though. Like, obviously, I think the girl, she guaranteed a medal. Fraser Clark won this morning. You know, there's loads of sort of positivity for the boxing. I think Siobhan Clark went out, but I think we definitely got a chance of at least a couple of medals now.
Any other Olympic things you want to touch on?
No, to be honest, just get back to the house and keep watching it. But yeah, the old sprint and that starts again soon, doesn't it?
Yeah, Katrina will be out as well, won't she? I seen your thing as well about Loughborough's got more medals than, or will be coming 5th or something.
Yeah, it's something that they'd be on the medal table, but. The thing is with Loughborough, like, obviously I'm biased because I went there, but they do that every Olympics. Yeah. They do. I know the facilities are great, but there's loads of places with great facilities. But that place just churns Olympians out. No, didn't make me an Olympian, like, but made loads of
lucky enough to train there. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mate, out of the Olympics, then see Wayne Rooney this week. Me mate,
I couldn't believe it. You know,
my mate was just like, you know, on his gravestone, it would be like, unbelievable footballer. What an idiot of a human.
Actually, he just never learns, does he?
Can't help himself.
I mean, I've seen that argument saying, you know, if that was a female and males were taking pictures and that's probably a thing, but you're a 36 or 37-year-old man. What are you putting yourself in them positions for? And it's not like he's just...
So he went back to a party with two mates, didn't he?
Private party with mates, yeah, I bet it was. But the thing is, like, he's not a kid anymore.
No.
But this is not the first time.
No.
If this come out and, you know, Wayne Rooney had never done anything like this before, and you say, you know what, he's just...
Yeah.
Something's happened, he's got caught, you know, let him deal with it. But it's constant.
I do agree though, mate, and I'm not trying to defend him though. If it was the other way around...
Oh, mate.
If there was a famous athlete, if that's Simone, the gymnast, if there was me or you standing over there, bolloco, while she's lying there a kip, me and you would be getting nicked the very next day.
It is mad, like, there's a massive discrepancy there, because he's clearly out of it, and like...
Yeah, he's a kip, he's full on it.
Oh, mate, but so it's like all the ale round him and everything in there.
There would be murder if it was the other way round, but who knows what'll happen to those girls, but...
He just can't handle his ale.
But he's having a bad week though. Did you see he injured his own player?
Oh yeah. I seen the interview, he's like, I've got no centre arse or nothing, and then he goes and injures one. They're saying, oh, for God's sake.
But they've already got massive injury problems as well. They've got like no players for the start of the new season.
What a player, but honest to God,
he's just an idiot, isn't he? He just can't help himself.
Single figure brain cells, hasn't he? I'm sorry, but like, he's got...
Yeah, he scored more goals than he's got brain cells.
Mate, honest to God. Well, what can you do?
That was interesting. Mate, in the footy, then sticking with Derby being knackered, Van Dijk back this week.
Yeah, I'm nervous though, you know.
Well, he's playing obviously Thursday today when we're recording. He's playing today. Did you see how big that Kanate is next to Robbo?
Yeah, he's massive, isn't he?
I think if Van Dijk, like you say, you're a bit nervous for his comeback. If he can come back injury free and, you know, I think Gomez will struggle to get a place in that team.
Yeah, I mean, that kid's got to come in and sort of prove he's good enough to play, but he's got it looks like he's got everything there, but I've just not
just going on pure looks. I just asked him there just because he looks scary.
Big massive fella at the back.
Massive, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it's been good to see obviously Van Dijk back out playing, but it's just one of them, and it's so delicate. You can train as much as you want, and when you start twisting and turning and chasing people and...
Yeah, you just hope, because if he's anything back to even 80% of his prime, then we've got to play.
He was only playing at about 50% for half the time.
Yeah, so effortless, isn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, it'd be great to see him back. Can't wait for the footy to come back, to be honest.
Yeah, only a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, we've had that little break now.
Yeah,
but
I've seen as well, mate. He's got to go down on one of the best signings ever, is Seamus Coleman.
Yeah, Everton.
He's just signed a new deal, 60 grand they got him for from
ridiculous,
Sligo.
Isn't it? I seen the clip said they signed 2009 or something. But like they obviously had that thing with Coleman and Baines for years, didn't they? Where they were just flying down the wings. But yeah, he's just someone who's maximised every drop of talent that he's had, and that's such an admirable skill. That because I'm guaranteed. Well, I think he'd probably say himself. I don't reckon he's ever been the most talented player in the changes, but he's been the one there the longest. Do you know what I mean? And you've seen them present him with the contract. I don't know if you've seen that clip. Like Marcel Brands is the like director of football. He sort of got all the team together. And he was like giving him a big speech, and he was like, "Oh, we're going to give him a new contract and stuff." And he just sort of walked up as if it was another day at the office. But I reckon that's just the way he's approached his entire career.
I think one of my favourite quotes is like, your biggest fear is unfulfilled potential.
Oh, mate,
that's something he doesn't have to fear, mate. No. He's lived up to everything.
I said it's such an someone who can like empty every single ounce of talent that they've got is such an underappreciated skill, because you know we all know people who were probably more talented than him. Yeah, but they've got never just even had half the career.
The application,
I think I'd love him to see him win a trophy with Everton, but like I think regardless he'll go down as a legend for 60 grand.
Yeah, 60. One of the best signs in the Prem.
Ridiculous.
Him and James Milner are up there, mate.
Oh yeah, Milner. Do you know when Milner signed for Liverpool, I was made up, and loads of people were saying to me, "Why are you made up with that?" I was like, I love James Milner.
Well, I was one of them thinking, why are we buying City's rejects?
Yeah.
Like, I was one of them, and look at him.
No, he's a Liverpool player who used to play for City, not a City player who went to Liverpool.
Well, he's played most for us than any other club, hasn't he?
It's just, you know what you're getting, you know, like how much you need that. Yeah. But like,
he seems to have a good impact on the players around him as well.
Seeing like all the clips from training now in Liverpool, he's still like at the front. He
loves his running, doesn't he?
So fit, isn't he?
Yeah.
But I think obviously he's not playing because he's like when he comes in and plays for Liverpool, still he's very good. He's not just in there because he can run.
I think he'll get given a coaching role as well.
Yeah.
I think they'll want to keep him around the place.
Can't buy what he's got, mate. Like, and what he's seen. Pretty much, has he won it all now?
Yeah.
Pretty much everything apart from obviously international honours, but
yeah, he has.
I think as a club player, he's won absolutely. Played in all the biggest games. I reckon he probably played every position on the pitch.
Probably, yeah.
Just a legend, absolute legend.
Mate, we've had Goodwood on this week.
Oh yeah, we've been doing all right, haven't we? A little go.
Mate, I had someone text me at the time when I have to try and name him. He kind of, it was quite funny. He was like, I said something about alcohol free on, Jord. His name is Geordie Jones on Instagram. He went, what did I miss something? I said, alcohol free. So we've backed it loads on the pod. He was like, I've listened to every single pod. I don't know, I've missed that.
Oh no.
So we had a bit of fun on alcohol free. You tipped that up many months ago. Of just in general, we've kind of followed them since.
I had a couple of, how many wins is that? I think it's 3 in there. On a second, 2 in a second maybe. But yeah, what a horse. He was like great ride from O'Shea Murphy. Like obviously me talking as an expert, but he just let it go, didn't he? Once the time was right, and just took off.
And beat a well fancied favourite as well.
I think, like we were saying with footy there, you can't buy heart in a horse either though. Once that horse gets going, mate, it is rolling.
Great to watch, like absolutely loved it.
Goodwood's great, isn't it? It's one, like I'd love to go.
Yeah, I just think glorious Goodwood in the sun, although it's not been that sunny. It's just a great summer, 4 or 5 days of it.
Yeah, and the other fella's out tomorrow, isn't he?
Dragon symbol.
Bit of a late one. We weren't expecting it, but yeah, 10-3, second favourite.
What are we thinking for it?
What's the ground? Good to soft. Best he's going to get.
Yeah. But that Batash is a good horse. Yeah.
But he's entered also to race against him at York when we obviously go down. But 7 now, Batash, like, obviously still got it, but Dragon Symbols, how unlucky can you be? His form.
He's been so unlucky.
So consistent, but hopefully this is the day he gets his head in front.
I'm just going to keep backing it.
Oh, mate, 100%. That horse will be like 8, right, and he'll have sold it about 8 times. We're racing in Germany or something, and I'll still be there backing it. But yeah, 10-3 still a working man's price, as they say.
Are we going on it then, are we?
Yeah, right on it.
There you go.
I mean, we're out for a couple of beers tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully if he can win at 3:35, be in the pub for 3:45ish, and then that's it. We're out.
Fingers crossed.
But yeah, it'd be great to watch him. So that's 3:35 Goodwood tomorrow. All the listeners get on it. This is the day.
Fingers crossed. What else is on this weekend?
I hope fight camp starts, doesn't it? At the end.
Is it the first of 4? Is it?
First of 3.
3.
Yeah. So it's the first time sort of Eddie's going with the DAZN. Really good cat. Obviously the return of Conor Ben.
Yeah, I see that.
Like they've rolled.
Such a soft spoken killer, isn't he?
Yeah. He's the fastest rising sort of prospect we've got now. Faces and Granados, who's fought all the top names over in America and stuff, always give a good account of himself. So very similar to Vargas, and I thought Vargas would give Ben rounds, and I think Granados will give him rounds. But Ben's just on that thing now where he's just rolling. You know what I mean? He's got so much momentum, so much confidence. It's going to take something to stop him. I mean, this is not the level he's going to end up at, and this is maybe 2 levels below. Levels below sort of world level, but
what level would you say he's at now then?
Probably just a rank below European level, I'd say. So I reckon if he went into a British title fight now, he'd be favourite. But then obviously you've got your standard, you've got your British, European, then you've got like a middle ground between European and world.
What's funny then, because just with the hype around him, I was thinking he was like a lot closer to the world level.
Yeah.
Never even mind European.
No, he's still a little bit, but that's what they've got to be careful from, because he come in with nothing though, like absolutely no sort of experience really. I think he had a couple of amateur fights, and when he come in, he didn't look great. Just looked like, as they was calling him, Nigel Ben's son, just swinging from the bleachers, trying to knock people out. He spent loads of times with his trainer Tony Sims, who's as good a trainer as anyone in the country. Proper refined him. He's becoming a man now, obviously getting a bit of strength. He's 18-0, but it's just when you let go of the leash, innit? When you let him go. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. The card's alright, to be honest. It's really quite fan friendly. You got Lee Wood, a lad from Nottingham, who's fighting Kanju for a version of the world title at featherweight. He's a big underdog. The fight of the night, I think, Tommy McCarthy, Chris Billum-Smith, cruiserweight, Commonwealth and European title, and British actually. And then obviously you got Fowler, Campbell Hatton, yeah. And the fella on there, Avni Yildirim, he just fought Canelo 2 fights ago. And he's fighting a lad from Bolton now called Jack Cullen over 10 rounds. Bit of a mad one. Eddie just owed him a fight or something, do you know what I mean? Just threw him in some lad from Bolton. But for Jack Cullen, like, he's fighting someone who's just fought Canelo.
Yeah.
I think Jack Cullen's like 19-2 or something. It's not not on the verge of a world title, but some scalp if he can beat him. What
are the things, mate? Because we spoke about it with Nick. I mean, just having a quick look now on Betfair, Campbell Hatton 1-20 and Fowler 1-20.
I think sort of you got Sandy Ryan making a debut, you got Campbell Hatton, you got Yildirim, Jack Cullen. That's a competitive fight, I think, because it depends where Yildirim's at. But I think there's a little bit of value this week in sort of the method of victory markets. Chris Billum-Smith, cruiserweight, who I really rate. He come to Liverpool a couple of years ago, knocked out Bellew's managed fighter Craig Glover. Then he went on to sort of fight camp the first time round, won again in 4 rounds. Fighting Tommy McCarthy, who's from Ireland, really good fighter, good pedigree, good amateur. But I just think Chris Billam-Smith's one of them fighters, trains with Shane McGuigan, just floating under the radar, you know what I mean, and just ready to burst onto the scene. I think he's about evens, I think, for the knockout, and I'm behind that myself, like, so. I sent you a message yesterday and said the same. Just think he's just ready to sort of explode, you know what I mean? Tommy McCarthy's unfortunately in the way, but I think that'll be fight of the night, the two cruiserweights, yeah. Love cruiserweights because, like, you don't, sometimes at sort of heavyweight you can get a few plodders, can't you, and it's sort of like but these are like, obviously still athletic, but just as powerful.
Yeah.
It's just a great division, and I think he'll steal the show.
Same with the Conor Benn knockout then, you thinking?
Yeah, but I actually do think Adrian Granados will take him some rounds. I think he needs rounds. I think, 21-8 Granados is, but that's not, that's no slight on him. He's fought the best, only been stopped once. Got 15 KOs in his 21 wins, so he's got, he can punch a bit. So, I wouldn't be overly surprised if he went all the way, because Conor Benn needs it. But I think, if you're looking to bet the knockout, 7-12, I think, definitely late on. But again, I said that last time, Ben come out and smoked him in a round. But he's it's a really good card, and I don't know if you've seen all the build-up with DAZN this week. They've had rolled the red carpet out, like, obviously they got Laura Woods, Maya Jama.
Laura Woods, yeah, being on the podcast, go and check that one out.
Nick Pete, who's also been on, he's just got a gig on there. So him and his...
Belew's coming on and also on there.
Yeah, we'll be on DAZN soon. But so they've rolled the red carpet out, had all the celebrities there. Yeah. That's from One Direction, a lot of them.
Akinfobi was there.
Yeah, Akinfobi, how's he got a gig?
No idea.
But they had them all there, and sort of Eddie knows how to sell it, doesn't he? I think it's $1.99 the DAZN subscription, but I think on the face of it, you look at the odds and you think it's not that competitive a night, but it really is. Like, I think Lee Wood's going to be really competitive against Kanju. I don't know whether he'll quite get over the line, but I think it'll be a competitive fight. And then obviously Fowler's fighting a German, late notice. But if he wins, apparently all roads lead to Liam Smith.
And I've seen that. Where's that come out of?
Yeah, so obviously they both, Liam needs a dance partner after that sort of robbery in Russia sort of thing. Fowler's on the way up. Yeah, over at the I think it's the M&S Bank now, isn't it? Or the M&S...
Yeah, it's not the Echo anymore, is it?
I still call it the Echo.
Yes, I think everyone does.
So they're saying October the 9th for them two to get it on in there.
That'll be massive, that.
It will be, as you said, be like Rocky and Callum, won't it? But I think it's such a perfect blend, because like if Liam loses to Fowler, he's done. But if Fowler loses to Liam, you've got the ceiling on his career. Then it's like you can't step up to world level. But
yeah, it's fascinating, that, isn't it?
A few whispers that Luke Willis will be on the card, fighting someone who's been around a bit. So should hopefully be stacked with some Scouse talent.
That'd be good. That when's that? October
the 9th. Yeah, it's actually not that far away when you break it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But apparently, so if Fowler wins this weekend, they announce it on the night, apparently.
That'll just divide the city, that, won't it? Where's Fowler from?
Toxteth, I think.
So yeah, down the south end then.
Yeah.
City north v south end.
Yeah, I think he's Toxteth, yeah. But
who would you fancy in that?
It's hard because you need to know what Liam's got left. Obviously that fight in Russia. I don't think it took anything out of him physically, but it's whether he's actually still there. Mentally. Whether he still wants to do it, you know what I mean? But I think Liam's that sort of person. He's not going to lose a derby. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? He's not going. And Fowler, sort of, he's got all the ability in the world, the Olympian, all that stuff. But it's between the ears, isn't it, for him? Like he got.
Still a baby as well, hasn't he?
Yeah. Got absolutely sucked into Scott Fitzgerald, got beat there. And he's done it a couple of times in his career where he's like, just the nervous energy is just rolling with him. But he's now with he's obviously now with Shane McGuigan, who's one of the best trainers in the world, if not in the country, if not the world. What impact he has. But I think with Liam, Liam's the favourite going in. But if he's not 100%, he gets beat as well.
That'll be electric in there as well. By the way,
flying.
Was that you were saying as well? You were at it as well, weren't you, Callum and Rocky?
Yeah, exactly the same thing. Yeah, just one of them. Like, I think the whole week would just be great.
Yeah. For
people like us, in the city. Yeah. Sport obsessed. Hopefully that big DAZN road show will ride into here.
Get a few of them in here.
Yeah.
Get our Laura in here.
Yeah, we'll have a big old night in here.
Laura said when we done the podcast as well, it was a shame. She was like, I'm up when, obviously with the footy on the Premier League, she would have come in and done one, so we'll try and get in the studio.
So interested to see how all that works, because they've moved away from the old men in suits, Obviously, they've still got Bellew in there, got Andy Lee, who I think's the best pundit in the game. But then you've got, you know, Maya Jama, Laura Woods. People who aren't... I think Maya Jama's a massive boxing fan, but I heard Laura Woods saying the other day that she's doing research and that, but these are polished professionals, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, with the podcast we've done with Laura, like, the work she's done, like, everyone thinks, oh, who's this, you know, blonde now on the screen? Yeah. She's done the hard yards, you know what I mean?
That must be hard, that, because I've seen it on myself on social media, and people say, oh, you're only there because you're good looking, or... Yeah. And it's just not true, you know what I mean? They're, like, really good at the job.
Very knowledgeable, yeah. Really knowledgeable.
And I really hope that's, like, that becomes a big success, because you've still got the Al fellas in boxing, like, what are you putting birds on? Johnny Nelson on.
They should be there for the ring war.
yeah, literally that. So I hope it's a big success, but I'm buzzing to see how it all looks and how it goes down.
Mate, on the note of things coming to Liverpool, which is exciting, bad news is you said UFC's London's been cancelled.
Yeah. Well, they say, you know, the reports are that it's now heading back to Vegas. Seen Paddy put something up, like a bit gutted and stuff. Because obviously him for having a debut in London would have been great, but yeah, it's one of them. It's like, I think it's a lot with the government and, you know, letting people in without vaccines and passports and all this sort of stuff that just gets rammed down our throat now. But, you know, it sounds like to me like the UFC have just gone, you know, be asked with the stress. We just take it to our custom built Apex in Las Vegas. We'll fly everyone out, we'll put everyone up, no problem.
Yeah, it's a lot of money for them to put up, and then Boris Johnson to turn around a week before and say, actually,
it's one of them. No, they go, no, you can only have 10% in or 20% in, and I think Dana said from day one, like, you know, I'm not doing anything unless I'm doing it. You know what I mean? I'm not having 50%. I'm not having sort of.
It's either no one or everyone.
Yeah, it's no one or everyone. Yeah. And you know, I think Dana's probably been right there in terms of he's the one who's been going throughout this whole thing. He rolled it all the way through the pandemic, and you know, his stall's been set out from day one, and whether the UK have just said no. But it's just the UK said, you need people to go out and spend some money. Let the UFC come in. It'll sell out in minutes. London, you'll be full of people. But, you know, it's again, isn't it? It's the world we live in now, unfortunately.
Not everyone's as switched on as you, George. Boris isn't listening, lad.
Oh, yeah. Get me in that shit.
The Echo's listening, though.
Yeah, innit?
Well, you put me on.
Biblical. I was fuming.
Biblical rain.
Look at my drafts on my thing now. I was emailing them all that. You owe me dough. Biblical rain.
Yeah.
It's my word. I didn't even had the thing to put it in the little quotations.
It'd be great if they would have mentioned you.
Only rain for about 5 minutes.
Mate, is there any decent UFC this weekend?
No, it's a bit of a small card. Uriah Hall versus Sean Strickland. Bit of a smaller card, but as I said plenty of times, you know, wake up Sunday morning, type UFC schedule in Google, and you'll probably see KO, and then you can catch up. But yeah, wouldn't be staying up for it. There's a good heavyweight fight next week that we get stuck right into, but yeah, it's a bit of a smaller card this weekend, I think.
I'm buzzing with the zone, to be fair. Normal British time.
Yeah, exactly.
That's me Saturday night sorted.
But yeah, I think that's going to take over this sort of week, and yeah, I'm buzzing for it, to be honest. A couple of bets on the card that I'll put up, but as I said, I think Bill Smith KO. You might get evens close to the day if you can. You know, have a good bet, but I'm also going to have a go on the 1 to 6 rounds. Like, we got in Joyce last week, didn't we? Yeah. 1 to 6, stopped in the 6th though.
You like, once again, you know, Mr. Mac doesn't go, because obviously, you know, when Conor McGregor used to do that thing, it's a great one. You know what your new name is? I've seen it and I'm robbing it.
Go on.
The Postman.
I always delicious. Love that. I'm going to change your name on Twitter. You know, like Nick Peake did, the commissioner. I'm changing it to the Postman.
I couldn't believe it, mate. When I was looking back at last week's sportscast, he goes, he's going to win by knockout. I can see it being, what did you say, under
7.5, yeah.
And you got 3.
Yeah. And then, so we had the knockout, the under 7.5, and then the 1 to 6, yeah. Joyce is a problem, by the way.
I woke up though going, he's fucking taking the piss now.
yeah, throw your phone.
Honestly, I was like, how? Because you don't just pick the, like...
Yeah. Oh yeah, we could all sit here and go, yeah, Joyce KO 1 to 12.
Yeah, exactly.
You see them, like, obviously when Goodwood and all that's on, you know, someone will put up, like, this even shot or 1 to 2, boom this, boom that.
Yeah, it's not hard, is it? Yeah. Mate, you're unbelievable, mate, the Postman. Unbelievable.
The Postman, love that. But yeah, I'm going to go 1 to 6, Bill Smith as well. I think Tommy McCarthy's good. This is not me saying he's, you know, some schmuck who's going to get rolled over, but I just think William Smith's that much better and that much more powerful. You know, he takes a shot to land a shot sometimes, but, you know, I think he can really put Tommy McCarthy away, so I'm going to be on the KO. You know, KO's the real bet. You know, if you can get, you know, if you're happy with the 4-5 or you can get evens, that's the real bet, but I think you can get 5-2 for rounds 1 to 6, and I wouldn't put anyone off that.
I am pinning me flag to dragon symbol.
Love it, lad, I love it.
Got to have me now.
Love it. You're going to bring the... going to change that 2 for a 1.
Hope so, mate.
But yeah, hopefully you can have a good beer Friday with a few winners.
I seen your Jay was riding him, weren't he?
Yeah, so Jay rides him every day.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's where our information comes. And
well, me and George will be having a beer Friday afternoon, hopefully basking in the winnings from the dragon symbol.
Yeah.
Ready to look forward to Saturday night's boxing.
Big weekend, mate. It's all starting to roll back again now. We had a few quiet weeks, didn't we? But yeah, we're all starting to kick off again. Footy won't be long. Boxing won't be long, and back in the echo.
Can't wait. Anything else you want to finish on?
No, mate. All good. Yeah. Hopefully a few winners this weekend.
Boss, fingers crossed. Well, hope you've enjoyed this week's Friday episode of what's every Friday in it, the Sportscast. Nice one for listening. Keep supporting it. And for me and the postman, see you next weekend.